Hi YouTube, welcome back guys. Today we are gonna build our solution, and in the last video we finished our insert and update statement with a change store procedure, and now we're gonna use that. So we're gonna build our app, we're gonna put some elements, and basically I'm gonna show you how to reference your elements and let them show or not based on some conditions. And then on the bottom we're going to change our parameters and then add a record to our database or update the record. So it's going to be fun. So let's go to PowerApps, and here we have our app, and let's first think about what we need. I think we need a gallery to show the active registration and the attributes in that. And we need some buttons, and I think 3 will do, because in the start we have the travel and work home, and sometimes we will have to have a button for the finishing the visit, to maybe later make a change in a report, like for the visit report. And maybe we want to show information about the specific customer or location we are at. So basically see the contact person, see the historic visits we done and what we have done here. So let's first insert a gallery. And a gallery will always be on the top here. Then let's cut this and let's put it in our first screen. So here we have our screen, and what we also could do, make it a little bit smaller, because we don't have to have a lot of information there. And let's say for the items we're gonna go to registrations, active list, and let's see, the default is just the first registration active list we have, because basically we're gonna have one record in there. So let's now say we want to have the title and the subtitle, and for the first one we want to have the, let's say, the type, the registration type name. And for the second one, we want to have the location for now, I think. So customer name. Now we don't have any records here, and that's because when we go to our database, we don't have active records. So let's change that and see what happens. So let's put one of our records to active. Change this, and now go to our get registration active. I'm using the Alt key again, and now we see that we have a visit at this location. So now let's build this a little bit better. So let's put this to the top, registration, make it a little bit smaller, copy this part, put it on the side, and say here this should be this item start time text. So we are started at 16. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Let's do 16 and make it light, and make this lighter also, and 16. So we had a visit, we started at 16, 17, and let's see what we, and the duration in minutes. Okay, and this is long ago, so the duration is, let's not do the duration, let's do the duration text, and do concatenation with some time or elapsed. Let's say E for elapsed, and duration time. And let's put here start. So basically what we have now, let's make this a little bit bigger because I have space and it's nice to see the information clear. So we have a visit, started at 16:16 and the elapsed time is 130 minutes of hours and 70 minutes because it's an old one. Let's see what we want to add more. So let's drag this down. Let's copy this one and say we want to have the destination here, destination type name. So, and we ain't seeing anything because there is no destination. So let's copy this and say we want to have a border. So we really see what's happening. And make the gallery separator disappear because we have a frame. And you see the sidelines, but on the mobile this is going to be fine. And maybe we should place our border color the same as our header. .1.fill. So it's the nice fill. Okay, let's take this one a little bit down, like 5. So it's a little bit under there. Okay, let's do 10 for some styling. Now we have the destination. Let's put it on the. Let's put it down also a little bit. So it's nicely formatted. Now let's go to our SQL Server and add a destination. So let's say destination type should be 1 here. Destination type is 1. And update this. Okay, now we have 1. If we now try to rerun it again, we have a visit. The destination is home, and let's put here destination and of course we can give this a name as we want. Probably our customers say, okay, I want to call this the location, and then the location name, and the destination name. And maybe here, okay, let's leave it at this. So we have a visit, the destination is home, and the location is a customer. Okay, I understand it doesn't fit, but later on this is gonna be great. Let's take this off because we don't need it. And okay, we have our box saying what the current registration is doing. Now let's say this should be 0. Enter, and again. And probably it would be nice to not have an empty space here, but have like a description. It's basically say that there are no active registrations. So let's do it like this. Let's put it in the middle, center. Let's say the color has to be like the header. Fill again. So we have a little bit gray text, the same as our app formatting, and say to the text, there are no active registration on this moment. or something like this. Let's do it like this. It's enough, I think. And this label, let's call this rename L01G1.1. And let's call this L1G1 dot no record message. Okay, and let's say to this one, you are gonna be visible. It's empty. And our registrations active list. So basically it's gonna be visible now. And when we make it active again and run this, we gotta see a record. Okay, nice. Okay, next, let's now insert a button. And the button is gonna be neatly out here. Let's give it a, okay, 70 is enough, I think. And let's create a little bit other color here. Let's do like this, and the fill same as the header. So let's do the color like our fill. Okay, this is nice. Let's make it a little bit lighter. I don't like the very fat buttons. Let's make it or normal or lighter, and get the radius away. Because on the mobile, when we are going corner or side to side, this you ain't gonna see anymore, but the rest you gonna see. So now we have our first button, and let's insert some icons. I'm gonna do a check. I'm gonna do a search. See what we want to do more. Yeah, I want something with working home. Say we want to have a like a traffic sign, like a map. We have travel. Want to have something like a visit. Let's look for some hands. And I'm using this, but you also can have some icon from the internet, of course, and put it in a send image. But I'm fine with this ones, I think. So I have something for the travel, I have something for the work home, I have something for my visit, I have something to just submit if I want to. And should we need more? And let's do a clock just for starters. Let's select these all and say we want to align them to the left and to the top. Let's make them the same as our button. Let's put it on 30. And let's do padding like 20 something. 20 is a little bit too much. Let's do 14. Okay, this is nice. And here, select button 2. Now let's take button 2 with it and say we want to group these buttons. Let's take all the icons in the button, put it to the left corner. Let's say we want to select them again, sorry, and let's do 1 here, and then for our group say you should be 72. Now that's basically because I want to see or borders appearing if I select my button. So let's take the group, drag them down a little bit. So now let's take this, say this is a clock 1. This is hands 1. This is maybe navigates 1. Oh, this is the navigate, I think. Wait a minute. This is home 1. Oh, rename. And let's say go home, because home is already there. Let's say this is just check 1 and rename search 1. Okay, let's take them all again, align them to the left and say the visibility is let's do false at first. Now let's recall the button. Let's say this is menu or trigger. Let's call it trigger 1. Let's call it different button 1 and call this trigger 1. Let's rename this to submit. Okay, now we have a control with buttons and we only have to make the right icon appear based on some formulas, conditions, and make a submit button. And also on the trigger we can say this should be true or false. Now let's copy this one, make it 2, and make a third one. Hey. Why doesn't it slide? Okay, let's slide it to here, select them all and align them vertically. Let's see if this nice buttons we can click on. Now the text here, let's say we call this button 1 and we gonna flash function and we're gonna put a variable here, trigger 1 title, and let's just say T1 for trigger 1. Let's go here and say on change update context trigger 1 title is 0, trigger 1 2, this is gonna be 2, it is gonna be 3. And I don't know if we leave it here, but at the end it's good to have some buttons for this moment. Maybe this will go away, but let's see. Okay, let's do it different, that we say not collage function, but let's say we need a switch. We're gonna do it some different, so it's gonna be an if. We're gonna do an if, and we're gonna say is empty registrations active list. Then we want to have travel. And let's say else button 1, or just submit. So basically we don't have an empty travel, so it's gonna be fine. Let's do the same thing for the next one, for the title text, or for the text, sorry, and here say work home. Now let's see if this works by going to our SQL database. Let's say 0, update our record, and rerun our record again. Okay, now there is no active registration. We are able to go travel, and we are able to go work home. But the last button we don't need on this moment. So let's say this group, on the group, visibility, not is empty. And let's first just say false, because we're going to show it based on conditions, and on this moment we don't have a condition what to set. So now we have no active registration, and we have a travel and a home button. We can click, and let's put in icons there. Let's say for the first icon, the travel or navigate. We say visible is, let's do submit one.text is travel. Let's go to the other. I could go home. Let's call this home work, just to be more descriptive. It doesn't really matter, but what the heck. And let's do the same here. Let's say submit to.text is work home. So now we have nice icons we can push, and we can push our button. Only nothing happens yet. So let's then go to the onSelect statement, and let's take this part, because we basically gonna do the same. Let's here say when it's empty, then we're gonna update context uf show 1. So we're gonna make a user form 1, to do things about the travel. Okay, and UF title, it's gonna be travel new travel. Okay, and we have to close the if statement. So basically when we click here, we have a new travel. Let's go to this one on the select statement. Work home. And let's make a user form 2. Oh, let's run this. We go there. And we can go back. And I see my buttons are not in the right place. Copy this. Whoops. Cut them. And paste them in the right place. My right group. And drag them down. And now they're in my group. When I travel, I get my submit button with a new travel. So let's put in a layer there. So let's take our template, copy it here, rename it to 001_1, and here I'm gonna build my logic for my travel. So let's see what I want to do with my travel. I want to be able to select a destination, and I think for that I'm gonna use a radio box and connect them to the connection types. I think they are empty now, so let's click this and let's see why this doesn't happen. Radio 1 items. Let's put in a gallery. Okay, we have a home visit or other. So basically when we put in controls like a radio button. Okay, now this works. And let's do let's put the radio size at 40. And let's make this the white of our screen. We have home visit or other destination types. Yes, we're going to a visit, we go to home, or we go to other. Okay, that adds up. So let's go here and put our button here. And of course I know what's happening now. Destinations. This is not visible yet, and that's why we can't see it. So this should be showing 1. And there comes our control. Now let's add in a label in top of it and say to this destination. Let's make it a little smaller, like 16. It bold. get it to the center. And let's do the fill. Same as the header. And the color, also same as the header. For now. And of course, this is just to pick our destinations and nothing more. So let's have a border. This one. And we can click this. Let's see what we have more in this collection. So we have the destination type and we have the name. Let's say the default should be visit. Let's try to do it home to see if it's okay. Default is visit. Normally when we go 9 out of 10 times we go to a visit. So let's put that default. So do we have more to do? Yeah, maybe we want to add a location. And insert a combo box. Where people can select a, we call it locations list, customers list. And we're going to use columns, customers list, and we're going to have the customer name, and the ID, customer ID. Because we want to show and search the customer name, and when you show columns, you can do this. And then we want to give back the ID, so we need the ID in it. So let's do a sort by columns. And we're going to sort it on the customer name, just name. I'm going to sort this by, and let's say show columns also the full address. Do we have a full address? Full address. Let's do not a full address, let's do the city. Let's see if this, yes. So now we want to go to the advanced. And we want to have the customer name. Select it and put it in the display fields. And add it here to our search fields. Now let's see if it works. So we have our customers. If we do G, blended institute. Okay, I think this is fine like this. And let's put in or allow searching, yes, but we only want to have just one selection. Only we have a visit and an institute. And then we would like to submit this. So we have a validate form. Switch UF show is 1. And here we're gonna do our if statements. So let's do if I think for this button we don't have to do anything because the radio button has to be clicked, so it can be empty, and we ain't gonna make the locations required, so people can go to a visit and say we don't need a location. We don't have to edit. But we have to change some other things, because when we go home, this shouldn't appear. And when we go to other, it should appear. We also want to have a notes. Put in notes, but what are we going to do? We're going to go to a location, we're going to help a colleague, for example. So let's put this a little bit up. Let's copy this part. Okay, this has to be notes. And we're going to insert a text input. Make this bigger. It's multi-line. We don't have a default for now. We want to make it text. Now, let's edit. Okay, I think this is fine. So we have destination, a location, and notes. Let's now group this. Group these two. And let's group these two. So to organize it, we will basically have groups. And let's say when we go home, and normally I would, of course, call these groups and elements a good name. For now, just gonna keep it like this. So let's get this one. Go to the group and say the visibility. This dot selected dot. We have the name and the value. Let's take the value is 2. Destination type ID. Of course, we should have this one. So let's visit 2. Let's run our app. When we go to home, it's not there. When we go to other, it's not there. We should do the same for notes, and it should only appear with other. So let's take this visible property of group 2. Let's put it in group 3 and say you only has to be visible at other, and this should be in 2 and 3. So now it's based on our selection. We're gonna see one or more things to put in. Okay, And now we could do, and I ain't gonna do that now, we could say if UF_show is 1, we gonna, oh, let's do it. Let's say 1 and say if destination we still have it here. Destination 1 selected ID is free. Then ends text put 1 text is blank. If those two, then we say update context validate form is false. If validate form, we're gonna select this. And here we have to close the if statement. So basically when it's 1 and it is in this case, we're gonna say if the destination selection is type free, so a other kind of thing, and it is blank text input, we're gonna update the validation to false. And of course we can update a error 1 is 1, for example. So we can also, when we put a number, we can have different messages if we want. And let's say when it's false, we want to notify the user and give him wrong input. It's a warning, and that's it. So basically when we have other, we do submit, okay, warning, wrong input. Please try again. And when we do a test, it's basically gonna click this and we are done again. When we have visit or home, there is no problem. And when we have limited, and you see we are basically done with our thing. Only we like to reset our buttons when we click here. So let's do a reset on our destination. Reset our destination 1 and reset our text input 1, and we're gonna reset our combo box 1. So this should work. So when we submit and we go back, we are blank again. We submit, we go back, we blank again. And of course this ain't gonna be totally right probably, but I think it is, because we gonna when we want to change our active registration, we gonna make one form which adjusts to what we have in our active registration. So now we can go to home, we can visit, we can do other and have a text and do a new travel every time that we want. Okay, let's now do the submit button, because when we have a visit and we select something, we want to be able to push something back to our destination. And then we have to go here. So let's give us some room here. And let's here say also the switch. Gonna take the same thing as here, because at the end, based on our number, we want to do something. So let's say here, always strange. Okay, let's set some parameters. So let's first say p destination, type ID, and let's set it equal to our destination nation1 dot selected dot destination type ID. Validate form here. Of course, we have to close this for the select, and then everything is fine again. Let's try to get the select also a little bit better formatted, like this. Let's drag this a little bit down. So we have the destination type. Let's set our second parameter, p p customer ID, and set it to our combo box 1 dot selected dot customer ID, but it's not validated, or is not required, so we should be able to set it to 1 also, so there is no customer. And let's use this function again, say comma 0, end this and end this. So it's gonna be the combo box selected customer, but when this is blank, it's gonna have 0. And let's see if this works just by putting in a button, because I didn't test this. So let's take it up here and let's put it in here. Well, let's put in a label, say the customer ID. And now it's 0. Shouldn't be. Now let's go to our parameters, because here it's set to 0, but probably I don't call it on the right manner on this moment. So we have 0. Now we have 4. And when we push it again, it's 0. So this works. So this part will give a 0 when our box is empty, and the number of our customer when there is a selection. I think works great. We have to do the same on the nodes. Set the nodes, and let's do is null. let's say if on the text, then else. But maybe we can do also here echo others. Text inputs and as second parameter give it 0. Then here we should have the nodes changed. Here let's do a if nodes is blank. If it's blank, then 0 and else 1. Let's close it. So basically we now set our parameter for the destination time, the customer time, the nodes, the node changed, and nothing for the rest. So the P record station ID gonna be 0, so basically we're gonna make a new record here. Now we have to do one more thing, and that's we go here, post our registration change, and put in our parameter. So this is 11. So let's do set E11, not E11, which basically will trigger our flow. And then we're gonna go to select and probably I did one thing wrong. Where? Because this is yelling at me. And it's this, I think. Yeah. So we have an F. When we validate, we're gonna do this part. He thinks we are still in the switch, so that's not good. So we have switch show, match value, and so we have the switch value, we have the match value. Here still the match set. Okay, basically we forget something here probably. This adds up, this adds up, this adds up. Value, if a value, a value. Is this? Let's see, we have the validate form and we have the comma notify selections. See which one is gonna be. Oh, here. Okay, not P nodes if set is it? Yes, here. I forget one. Now it adds up. So what we are going to do, we're gonna put in a variable, set it to true to validate the form. Then we switch, then we check based on our UF show if the validate form should be false. And there should be an error, and the error we could use to set another color to our notes box on this moment. Then when we do our validation, and let's do it like this. So this is the validation part. And this is what we're gonna do after validation. So we validate, then we switch to UF1. And maybe we should like this. So we switch to UF1. Then when it's 1, we're gonna set our parameters. When our parameters are set, we're gonna trigger E11. It's gonna run a flow. It's gonna make a new record here. Then it's gonna exit this form. And this trigger will make a new record and reset our parameters to their defaults. So let's see if it works. So on this moment, let's say where active is 1. So we have no records. And when we choose a customer, we submit, go back to the travel. And we are doing something wrong. Let's see what we're doing wrong. It's on the notes. It's going wrong on the notes. And I think because the notes are an empty string now. And here we have notes put in as text. So I think what is happening is that we are putting in a null here because of this. So let's say then an if function if is blank text input point text, then we want to put in a null, and else we want to put in the text input point text. Okay, let's see if it works like this. So let's pick a customer, submit, go to our see that gateway. Okay, this has some other reason. Let's see what it is. So the nodes are good. We're passing something to our flow, only our flow doesn't work. Let's go to view data sources. Registration changes. Let's go to actions, to our flow. Let's edit this. Registration type. Okay, I did it wrong myself, because of course this is a travel, so I should set my P registration type ID to the travel ID, and let's look what it is. Travel is 2. Because I'm giving a null or a 0 by default, it's gonna make it a null, so the update doesn't override our registration ID. But now I'm doing an insert, so now it wants to not have a null, but have a value. That's what went wrong, so let's try it again. Let's see if we still have red lines. Go to our flow. Let's see what is into the column state table. Oh, another fault. You knew I had this, the current time. Let's correct this, because of course I'm doing this video a few days apart, so sometimes I forget things. And let's do set P time. Let's look at the one for the time. Well, let's not do this here. Let's go to our trigger and see how it's built here. etc time text. And start. Okay, let's do it here. UTC. And this is a start time text. And let's set this to the current time UTC text. So we have a start time text, and let's see if it works now. Let's submit it. Let's go to our design screen. Let's see if we have a red, and now it worked. Let's see if we have a new record. And yes, we have an active record with a destination type. Registration type 2, a destination type 2, a customer ID, a start time and a start date, which is the UTC time of now, and no nodes and no end time. It's active. The difference is 1 hour with the UTC. Okay, great. So let's allow this, because now we should have a record. We have a visit to a limited. It's 7 minutes before 9, and it's 101. Okay, this worked. Now you see the travel button is gone. So let's give this a new text. And let's go here. Let's make this a little bit smaller. So when it's empty, it's going to be travel. And then when first registration active list dot registration type, let's take this one, registration type ID is 2, then we wanna say end travel. And it's gonna state end travel. Let's go to the text again. Let's pick this part and say the travel navigate should be or should be this. So now it's visible again. Now let's go to the second group, because we don't need this to be not, when it's not that, it's going to be visible, and else it's going to be not visible. Okay, so now we have our information about the active registration. We have limited. We can put in a navigation symbol here and go to Maps, Google Maps for example, and open that on an Android device or an iPhone when we installed it. And we can go to the end travel screen. Now when we look at the end travel, I think we're gonna combine one screen with all the updates we are going to have. So let's say on the onSelect here. So when it was this one, let's put it here. It's our first if statement. Now let's add another one here. And as I said, we're gonna make one for this. So let's call that free. It's gonna be screen free. And let's say it's gonna be called end travel. Now when we would click this, we would go to the next screen. It's not a screen yet, but it's gonna be. So end travel is done. Now let's go to the SQL Server. Say 13. When it's 13, it's gonna be 0. Destination type is, let's copy it. So we are done again. Let's get in our registration. And we are at the base. So let's do the same for this. We are going to 2. And let's think about this. Let's just copy this one, just because we are lazy, and say this should be 2, score 1, and it should be visible when it's in 2. So now it's visible. We don't need a destination. So true, and is true. I think we don't need the location group. We're gonna use this one. gonna have only nodes we're working home. So let's increase the group a little bit. The nodes. Now the nodes are around. I don't want that. I want them just to be right. Let's take this out. And let's do the unsubmit. So we want a validation. Do a copy, say this is 2. And let's say if is blank. Text input, then we want to set the validation for error should be 1. So basically we want to have a node. And let's give a error. Here, wrong inputs. Please try again. And of course here we could also say a switch function based on the errors. Which that we have more notifications types or lines just by adding a switch and say error message. Let's make a new variable and then do more lines of the notify based on what we are going to do. Now here we like to do another switch. And maybe we should just do it like this. 2. And here we're gonna set the node. So let's take this part out because it's basically the same. And say we want to set the nodes only, and for the rest we want to set the registration type. And of course the current time. And the node changed. We need also, and we want to call our update. The UTC time is the current time. We gonna set this. Let's go to our SQL Server to other to 4. So now we are at other. Registration time to 4. We have the P nodes. Let's say when it's not blank, it's going to be a 0 string or an empty string, or else it's going to be the text input. We kind of change the node if the P nodes is more than blank, and we're going to trigger our event again. So now let's try if it works. So first we're going to submit. We're going to have a wrong input. Have to input something. We could make this red also by saying let's do it by label. Let's say the color for the fill. Hit a fill. Copy this. Let's put it to red. And say if R1 is true, then we want to make it red. Let's see how I called it. R1. Okay. Let's take a label. R1 is 1. Let's take this out. And when I would use the error color for more than one number, then I would basically use the switch instead of the if statement normally. So okay, we have something wrong. It's the notes, and let's take the notes, the R1, go to our submit and say R1 is 0 when we start this. So basically when you have your errors, maybe you have more error colors that you say R1, R2, R3 or R4. Then when the notes are put in and you have another field which needs input and is not, the notes is going to be normal again, and the other one is going to be red, which you didn't do yet. So let's now, why can't I enter this? Because I still have a group, a label I don't need, delete. Oh. And when we now submit, we should have a work home. Still wrong. Yeah, of course it's wrong. Normal that it's wrong, because I have to of course reference the right text input box, because this is a different one. And you see now I have two user forms, and basically I could also make one for both new work home and new travel, and put in an extra parameter which says, okay, this is record creation type 2, so you have to show these boxes at these places, and otherwise. Now let's submit our record, and we should have a record, but we don't. So basically we go here again, see what we have did wrong. Invalid value for the parameter execute store procedure customer ID. So let's see what it is. Go to global variables. The customer ID is 0. Why is this not good? 0, it should work. Let's try a value. Let's run it again. Work home, test, submit. Okay, but this is strange, because normally it would be a number one way or the other. So let's go here. Let's say this should be 14. Run it again. See if 14. Run it. No records. Okay. Let's get our record creation. Work home. And this is strange, because we are going here. We're not changing our variable. Let's see the customer ID. Global variables. It's a number. So basically it should work without this setting to a value. So let's see if it does when we do it again. So let's submit. And now it does. I don't know why, but probably a strange hiccup. So let's now close the number 15. Go back again. Get our registration is empty, work home. Because we want to rename this and go here. And not forget to reset our text input. You see we all doing it when we go away from our user form. We reset everything, all the controls we just put in. So when we do now a tester, we submit. Okay, I think we have to fix this in a later video, that like design, that when it's empty you don't see anything, and else you see the concatenation of the L with the location. And otherwise maybe show the nodes when there are nodes, and put a node box here which appears above the other controls. So basically we are done with our first things. So now you see we did a travel and we did a work home. And we post it to our data source, and we show an active registration here based on what we get back. So let's try it one more time. Go to the travel. We have a, let's say, a visit. The visit is consultancy, and let's erase these buttons because we don't need them anymore. Let's erase the label to keep all the things we want to have, and submit our visit. And we are traveling to a visit and to a Liquim consultant thing. We have a travel at started at 7 minutes before, or 23 minutes past 8, and the elapsed time is 1 hour 30. So there's going wrong something here, because it's not 1 hour and 30 minutes from now on this moment. So probably at the SQL server I did something wrong, and I have to fix that later. So basically this is how to use the post registration chains, and I think in the next video we will carry on with building our third user screen, where we can end the travel and where we can update our registration with the right information we want based on the same concept. Now, okay, it was a long video again, so I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you learned something about it. And we did some we had some issues and we fixed it during the way. So that was nice to see that you can basically fix everything. And the problem with a customer ID is basically about a parameter which is set wrong and got an error somewhere. So then when you put it wrong on the place where the error occurs, it's going to be a number again, and then we can reset it. So sometimes it happens. I don't know why, but sometimes when a variable becomes an error, you have to fix it on different places to get the error away, and then you can do the same again, and then it works for eternity. Okay, now thanks for watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.